Good morning, folks. You'll see why this is the perfect little avatar to use in a bit. Now, I apologize. Either she's cross-eyed or her mouth is tilted or whatever. You know, sorry about that. Doing the best I can here. This is this morning's journal, November 8th, 2010. The first of this day, Mayan day, is 10 death or transformer. And in the observation series, the exercises in vision, I'm starting a new sub-series called Being in Heart. What is that like? And so I'll go back and put the appropriate ones that I've already done in under this grouping. Eventually I'll maybe make a playlist or something of all of the ones that should go together, so that as you go down through the playlist, you'll really get a sense of that. But anyway, this is called Seeing Your Own Masterpiece. The artwork is you. Our world, quote unquote, out there, is a reflection of what is real. Not real itself, yet it reflects the real. It gives us hints of it. It's quite a grand adventure, actually. One might as well determine to simply enjoy the ride. Thank you, Bill Hicks. After all, why not? What is stopping your enjoyment? I think if you look, you'll find that the only one doing that is you. No, not consciously, of course. Come on. But when we go into heart, we can transcend these seeming barriers between conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. Heart knows no barriers. Now, don't listen to this from the perspective of mind. It doesn't make mind sense. I won't even try to do that. It is not meant to. Mind sense, you will find, if you haven't already, is a much lower sense than heart sense. For those finding it challenging to give up reliance on and presence within the mind, there is heartmath.org, links in the transcript, where you will find the science of heart and mind, actually, but with heart in the driver's seat. And this is real and solid science. There is even present in the world today the science to support this trek into heart. It's amazing, and we are amazingly blessed. Moving on. The world, quote unquote, out there is just a reflection of the real. It's not real in itself. That's not the real you there in the mirror. It's just a 2D image of your physicality. Well, your 3D physicality is also just such an image when you step up to a higher plane or perspective. It's equally unreal, equally just a reflection, just in 3D instead of the 2D way. Kismet, behave. I wouldn't be surprised for us to find one day that it's this way with all of the dimensions. Just such a magnitude of difference is found between the 2D and 3D images, so great will be the difference, or even greater, between 4D and 5D, and so on. This reflecting that all the way up. Well, into infinity, I suppose. Heck, I don't know. Don't rely on me, on what I say. You are meant to be perfectly unique, not a carbon copy of anyone. You're your own thing, your very own masterpiece. That's what your work is in all of your lives and adventures, carving out your great work of art. That would be your very own self. Capital S. What is this self, though, but a perspective? What is it beyond the capital I, beyond the EYE-I? Yet, how magnificently it differs from the other capital I's, other EYE's out there. The difference is practically majestic. You have your very own path that you've woven throughout the lifetimes, throughout history. And that's just a one-dimensional view of you at that. You're multidimensional. You exist perfectly whole and complete on the higher dimensions. Your higher self is perfectly formed already. Nothing is missing. When I said that's just a one-dimensional view of you, it's the 3D view of the lifetimes and so on. Okay, the way the mind views life and reality must be abandoned to get the most from these journals. To come on this trek, step into the inner you. Make contact with the higher you, to whom all of this is a no-brainer. No big deal. You underestimate yourself, capital S. Everyone does. That's what we've been well coached and taught to do, very carefully, very thoroughly. Well, so what? To hell with that nonsense. Ha! We're waking up. We can no longer be held back, not by anything. Lost my place, sorry, just a minute. Not by anything at all, but the self, small s. And we're mastering that. We're surrendering it. Well, more accurately, it's mastering us. But no matter. That's just dealing with the reflection issue again. It is what it is. Now, the mind would very much like to get a hold of that idea. This one, you underestimate yourself. But it can't. Well, it can grab that and run with it, but only if you allow it. You're in charge here. If you're not reading the transcript, then you know that sentence has a rather important difference than what the mind chose to hear in it. What is the difference? Here's the sentence again. You underestimate yourself. Can you guess where the mind is off in its understanding? Your and self are two words for one thing, and for the other, self is capitalized. Sounds a bit different now, doesn't it? You underestimate your self. Same words, deeply different connotation though. And that's quite typical of the way mind grasps and processes things. It's built up on endless assumptions, all of which are inaccurate. It's a house built upon sand, but those unawakened have not yet discovered that. They still place reliance on the structure, the contents, the belief systems of mind, on science, for instance, which has practically everything pretty much wrong. Let's not go there, though. Let's stick with our subject, which is you, the great you that you're coming to uncover, coming to know. Mind's lies have to be laid aside in order to really see this. Mind is useful for so many things, but not this. Not at all. Do the mantra for mind more regularly if you're finding you have trouble letting it go. Letting it ramble on, yes, but just ignoring mind. That's what is called for here. Remember, you can always pick the mind up later after you've experienced the journal there in your heart. That's the way of it. Real experience is available to those who let go of their death grip on mind long enough to go adventuring. Nothing is lost. Mind awaits your return if you want to pick it back up again, and that's always your choice. Sovereign being you are. Now, what is this masterpiece, you say? I'm not used to thinking of myself like that. Why is it I can't see it very clearly? There are several ways to approach that, but the main one is you must start with and end within heart for this. And heart has such a different way of viewing, of seeing. Heart doesn't see things. It sees no separation at all. Heart vision takes a bit of getting used to. It's not really visual. It feels a lot like intuition striking. We all know that feeling, don't we? Mostly, we tend to ignore it when it arises. We're too busy, mind is too busy doing other things. So we ignore the intuition to pick up that widget and take it with us to work. Only later at work do we realize, oops, how bright that inclination was, the one we ignored or just forgot to do. We're shifting our energetic center of gravity. This is the move from the head to the heart. And this is part of the track. We can at least be thankful we've got the vision to see how we were given the intuition earlier on. Those completely in mind may not see this at all. They completely ignore it, not knowing their future lies that way eventually. Everyone, not just you, is moving into a new way of being. We're all moving in our very unique ways. Yes, some are still stuck, seemingly quite firmly in mind, but don't think they won't come when they're ready. We can't know when that is either, so make no judgments of any kind on your fellow men, women, and children. Judgments you'll find are purely mind things. And we know how reliable the mind's workings are in this area, right? If not, may I suggest the mantra for mind again? Here's why that will help you so much. Most of your challenges erupt from the subconscious level of being, yet you don't have direct access to that. That's where it desperately needs some reprogramming, though. And that's what falling back on the mantra for mind will eventually do. You're reprogramming the subconscious. You're breaking the intensely tight bond of total reliance on the workings, the fruits of the mind, on thoughts and beliefs. Repetition can do that, especially if it's done the right way. Be in heart for this repetition. Be relaxed. That way, it penetrates deeper into the psyche. Word to the wise, your power is up a good bit in the heart. Moving on. I'll close with something a bit off topic, perhaps, from the great masterpiece that all of you are carving out. Remember, it is with eyes of heart these masterpieces can be seen, not through the head, the mind, not through thought. How best to find and open your eyes of heart? Well, when you're centering your attention in heart, or rather just there in the center of your chest, try looking out at others and seeing the perfect masterpiece they are creating. Seen from heart, there is an intense beauty in each and every one you lay eyes upon. It's there, staring back at you, but it can be seen best only from heart. As you awaken to the awesome majesty, the intense beauty of that person there before you, you may be surprised to find tears in your eyes. The experience can be so moving. Eyes of heart are not all mushy and gooey or the like. It's not anything like that. That's just mind coming in, trying to figure this out.